Ahoy, peace and blessings, welcome back. 42, Divine Laws of Mayat, number 42. I have not disobeyed the law. Now, first, you have to understand that there's human laws that society is governed by, depending on what country you're in, what state you're in, what territory, what county, what city you're in. But there's also spiritual laws, and that's dependent on your soul. That's dependent on your actual bloodline, your body, your spirit. It's dependent on very personal things, that you can't change. You can change what country you're in physically and go live by different laws. You can change what state you live in physically and go live by different laws. But your soul is governed by laws that are more divine, and you can't break divine laws. You can break physical laws, people do it all the time. People end up in prison, things of that nature. But you can't break divine laws. You shouldn't try to break divine laws. And you'll understand that more by the end of the video. But there's many different divine laws previous prophets and teachers have taught. There's the 10 Commandments. There's Dharma. There's the covenants of Noah. There's all kind of different divine laws that God has came down, or God has sent a messenger down to present to humans. And depending on what religion you are, or just what type of spirituality you practice, you can, live by different laws. You can live by your set of laws, the set of laws that God has given you, These are all good things. But I've found on my spiritual journey, the really only true divine law to me is that God is always with you. That is something that you cannot break. It can never be broken, no matter how hard you try. In the past, laws have been written down. Don't kill people, don't steal, don't commit adultery, things like that. But people can break these laws. You see it in the flesh. You see it in the physical reality all the time. People end up getting punished, getting sentenced for their actions. That's why I view this as the only divine law. Because no matter how hard you try, you cannot separate from God, I'm speaking from a lot of experience. I've tried very hard, but that's like divine law, it surpasses gravity. It surpasses attraction. It's like the most magnetic thing in the world, You can separate from yourself before you separate from God, People get drunk, people get possessed, people's entire bodies, people go into comas and things, people faint, pass out. You can leave yourself, You can astral travel, meditate, things like that. But you cannot leave God. And I view this as the highest divine law, It's not even that I view it that way, but it is what it is, It's not that I agree to it, I like it, or whatever. I do enjoy it, but it's just the truth, This is what I'm telling you today. Just because the nature of what God is, and His personality, He's like the most forgiving spirit, most caring spirit. So you can do the most blasphemous things, you can still be forgiven, right, as long as you change your ways. But no matter what you do, you can't separate from it, People can die atheists and all type of things, But it's just the source, it's just the reality we're in. Even today, I got pushed into listening to more gospel music, If you're dealing with energies in or around your body and you don't want them there, and whatever you're doing isn't working, I do recommend listening to some gospel music. It helped me today dealing with some stuff I was dealing with for like a week, And just that answer kind of came to me. Just that vibratory state that you get in when listening to gospel music, It wasn't just anything random. Like, I really enjoy like music from the 60s and 70s. So I was listening to like gospel music from back then, like Southern American gospel music, like black choirs and things like that. It's a really good, like, interesting time in America. It's a very interesting vibe. A lot of good music was made Back then, equipment was starting to get cheaper and things like that, more accessible. You know, people were just recording no instruments and stuff like that. I was listening to some really good music, you know, no instruments. People just clapping and singing, you know. Like people, you know, everyone's into different music and stuff. I did make a playlist that I'm gonna keep adding like gospel music I like into. So if you're, you know, you don't know any or you're just curious, I do have a playlist on my page. I'm gonna try to link it to like the official videos and stuff from the artists, from the labels, so they can't get paid for it or whatever. But you know, some good music. But yeah, I just needed to be put in that vibration. It really helped me. It was really like medicine. You know, when your vibration's off for real, listen to some good gospel music. You know, I don't enjoy everything, but you know, I go like years without listening to it sometimes. Like I mostly listen to like rock or rap or just alternative stuff. You know, he told me like you should start listening to gospel music every day. You know, at least like one song. You know, 3 minutes isn't a lot of time to purify your vibration for real, to put you in a way better mood. I'll probably start adding that to my schedule. But extended from that, you know, there's human laws like I was talking about. There's also like angel laws, you know. Some of you who are angels, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like we have certain laws that we have to follow. So when humans have certain laws they have to follow. You know, birds pushing their young out of a tree is almost like a law. You know, it's just something they have to do, right? Or ducks first time jumping into a pond, it's almost like a law. You know, something they all have to do, right? So just certain things that are considered law. You know, they say like the cherubim sit around all day just singing holy, holy, holy. And like the older I get, the more experience I get, the more I get that. And that's kind of what's been pushing me to listen to gospel music and stuff too. It's like I'm literally just sitting like, you know, it's real deep emotional stuff. Like real deep spiritual stuff people be talking about, man. Start bringing tears to my eyes and stuff, you know. Most music doesn't do that. But you know, it's not an angel law to, you know, praise God, holy, holy, holy all day. You get what I mean? But it's something that they like choose to do. You know, the older I get, the more I'm like literally choosing to do that just because I would prefer it over anything else, you know? It's like, once you really develop that connection, you know just how good that source of energy is, just how much peace you receive. Just like all the blessings for real, you know. Even in like a human form, like I'm still kind of receiving bits of that energy. Just like, man, it calms my head down, you know. Calms my mind down, calms my heart down, calms my stomach down. Literally, like if you're dealing with anything, I do suggest that. If you haven't been listening to gospel music, it'll help. But speaking on a more physical level, most of the non-violent crimes are to acquire more money and more resources. So it's like the powers that be put people in a loop, you know, make it harder to achieve things, make it harder to acquire resources, get more money, you know, they raise the prices of everything. So people start disobeying laws, you know, just to exist in a more comfortable state how they want to. So I do just want to advise you, you know, especially if you're younger, you know, do focus on your money. You don't want to see yourself resort to being a criminal for some money, you get what I'm saying? For something very basic, for something you didn't even make, you get what I mean? It really is like the root of all evil. Most non-violent crimes are just to get money. And most violent crimes would be stopped if the relationship was more spiritual, you get what I'm saying? If you guys are both following Christ, if you guys are both praying together and things like that, you guys are more connected on a spiritual level. I'm not saying 100%, but majority of it, I think it's 100% honestly. You know, get your money, follow God. I don't see any reason you'd be disobeying laws, you get what I'm saying? You also have to remember, like, people make these laws, you know, they're set in place by people vote for them. Things have been this way for hundreds of years. So it's not that breaking the laws is bad. Sometimes it's better to break the law, you get what I'm saying? Like those cops at the school shooting, you get what I'm saying? Not doing anything about a school shooter and stopping parents from going in and things like that. Following laws, like you don't have to follow laws for real, you should follow God. Follow God, follow yourself. Avoid trouble. Avoid putting yourself in situations where you can get in trouble, where you can be punished. You get what I'm saying? Where you can be prosecuted. That's like the difference from divine laws and human laws. Human laws, they'll make you a prisoner, steal your body, your soul, put it in one place. You get what I mean? Divine laws, like your soul is always with God. It's very corrupt processes, but if we're good people, we shouldn't have anything to worry about at the end of the day. It's hard to ignore corruption on a physical and spiritual level. People getting arrested who are innocent, things like that. And then people who are, just unaware that God is within them. People thinking we're not one and the same. That's why it's good to practice forgiveness, just because we are all one and the same. I know you've forgiven yourself for things. We're all one and the same. If you forgave yourself for something, you should forgive someone else. If you think you could ever forgive yourself for doing something that another person did, then you should forgive them. Yeah, I have not disobeyed the law. Your soul is innocent. Your spirit is innocent. Just make sure your actions are justified. Keep praying, and your time will come. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace and blessings. Till next time, I love y'all.